Hello, everybody. Again. Okay, now we speak about the competitor panorama. It's a comparative Biocom and the other companies. First is a comment about what is the perception of the market. Oscar explained the technical difference and our products are the competitor. The first question is, what is the perception of the market now? What is our customer? What is the perception? What you offer? Propose our products? What is the same comment? Is all manufacturers are the same? What is the difference in this product, other product? Is it the same? Or no different between using the product or the manufacturer or another product? It's for the customer in general, it's difficult. The difference in our products or the others for the customers is the same. What is the reason for this new situation? Because in the past, Biocom is a leader. It's a different company with your competitor. But now, I change the market, change the perception. If the customer or the supply is different, the comment is this: oh, our products have the same quality. Is the same quality every product? That comment we hear when we offer our solution, but is it true? It's true. It's for our partner. It's true. This point, but on answer, no, it's true. But what is the difference in Biocom and the other company? What is the make Biocom with the other company? First, 20 years of experience, very important. The competitor, maybe last 5 years, 10 years, but Biocom has experienced the 20 years in the history. Quality of product or quality is true. It's not okay. The quality is my quality is the best quality. No. It's certificate quality. It's very, very important this point. Greater absorption, capacity of gas, ethylene bulbs is other point, very important. The competitor don't have this capacity of absorption. Advice and after sales, other point, very important for the customer. Quality control of each batch product. Produce a batch, I certificate the quality of this batch. And 4 years, and remember now, Oscar, you the control batch. No, it's 4 years.
We keep them every 4 years.
Yes,
At least for 4 years.
Traceability of products. Have the laboratory with capacity of performance remain, live test, new developments of products. Is a laboratory. The other competitors don't have the laboratory. Be the large filter manufacturer. I know other company that produce this. Well, for me the number is very difficult in English, but 2,000 mils filters 4 years. For me, the more important point is our partners. You see the difference, this company and the other. Your participation, your collaboration, develop the new product. Every collaboration have the difference with the other companies. But maybe this point is not sufficient enough for different to the competitor. But in the next table, I have the difference in the media. What our product is very different to the other competitor. For explain this table, I need a collaboration to Oscar. It's a technical. It's better.
Sure. I'll step in.
Thank you. Excuse me for being nervous, but in English is more difficult for me.
Okay, so yeah, I think I recognize all of these points that Maximo was mentioning, and which answer the question is, are all those products the same? The products are similar, the companies are not the same. And one thing that clearly makes a difference, one thing in which we are different is the experience that we have in the production of this kind of products and the people that we have in our staff. The laboratory that we have, not many companies have a laboratory like the one we have. The technical department is the one that runs the laboratory. We are 8 people in a company that's 45 people, no more than this. So in percentage, we're very technical. In percentage, we're very technical. This is important because one of the things that we do in this department is to develop and improve new products. We also do technical service, so we try to answer your questions as well as we can, as much as we can. We have experience not only in filtration of ethylene and post-harvest, we're also present in the air filtration business, in which we are filtering so many other substances with many other products. This is experience that has fed our knowledge and that we can use for this market as well. We have the ability to analyze the products from our competitors. We have the ability to analyze your problems. If you have problems, if you have quality issues, we take them very seriously, very seriously. We use our laboratory to analyze, and we report back as fast as we can. So I think this is a value that Bioconservacion has that not all companies have. Not all companies have. So when looking at this table, I think it's good that I comment on the differences here. So there's this competitors that we have, and there's the differences in the raw materials, of course. So the porous base is very important for this product. I'm sure you recognize that if you used permanganate only, permanganate is the active principle, all right? But if you use permanganate only, you would not capture ethylene, not at all. So it doesn't work. It needs to be dispersed over a porous surface so that you're using it the most. Now there are some differences in this porous base. We use zeolites. Is the one that we come to find as best for us. Others find alumina, which is also a possibility. There are differences. There are differences in the cost of these raw materials. There are differences in the production methods. When it comes to producing this product, there's no secret. You mix the alumina or the zeolites with permanganate, and you have the product. But there's much more than this, actually. If you don't use enough permanganate, you will not be dispersing the permanganate over the entire base of the alumina or the zeolites. So you're not giving the product all the capacity that it could have. So you need to use more permanganate. If you use too much permanganate, well, you're going to have some other problems. To start with, if there's too much permanganate, you capture ethylene, it will go to acetaldehyde, it will go to acetic acid, and it will further oxidize to CO2 and water. That's not bad, but you're using more permanganate than you actually think, than you actually want, because all of these subproducts of the reaction are consuming permanganate. And this is a permanganate that you cannot use for your ethylene. These intermediate products that you produce are not so bad. They stick. Well, they can absorb to the media, so they're not dangerous to anyone. They're going to go with the media to their final destination. Another problem of using too much permanganate is that you're blocking pores. So you're gonna lose all of this microporosity that's not gonna be useful. So all of the permanganate that went into those pores that end up being blocked, you're not gonna use. You're gonna waste your permanganate. So how do you come to an optimal product by experience? You come to your product by experience, and you somehow find that you have the best performing product in the market. And others try to get there, but they can't because they couldn't reach this production method. They are close. They keep being close, but that's all it takes. The rest of it is dealing with providers, finding good raw materials of constant quality, because this can come and go. So this is why we use the 12%. Other products use different quantities. Of course, it's if you use sodium permanganate, you can put more permanganate. Sodium permanganate is more soluble than potassium permanganate. In order to produce this product, you end up mixing your powder. So you mix the porous base, you mix the permanganate with water. So the permanganate needs to be dissolved in water. Sodium permanganate is much more soluble, so you can use more. But of course, then it likes water, and so you can have problems in operation. Those filters can pick up moisture from the environment and leak. This is why we don't use sodium permanganate, at least not for this application. Like I was saying, we're in the air filtration market. We know where we can use this product, not here in Postharvest. So 12% for us is the optimum. We're not going to go above. It is difficult to dissolve. We're going to block pores. Now, when it comes to the shape, I tell you, there's not too many differences in performance. We use extruded cylinders. They're really very close to a sphere. There's a measure of how a particle is. It's called spheronicity. A cylinder has 0.8 spheronicity. It's close to 1 as a sphere we have. So not too many differences in shape. Others are forced to use spheres because of the production method. With alumina, actually, the easiest way to produce a pellet with alumina is to spheronize it. You do this with some kind of special equipment, disc pelletizer, disc tubs pelletizers, spheronizers, that's how they call it. The alumina is actually the binder. It is a more expensive raw material, but the production method is actually a little simpler. So the cost of the product can be similar. We took the decision years ago of using extruded products, which is a more complicated product, a more complicated process, but it allows us to have constant size pellets, either 3 millimeters or 4 millimeters. With spheres, you don't really know. Each batch is different. From batch to batch, you may have 2, 3, 4, up to 5 millimeter. You don't control so much. That's not so good for the air filtration market because the pressure drop in the equipment is very important. So you need to control this. Maybe for post-harvest, in our filters, not so important. But we like to control this, and this is one difference. This is one clear difference, the shape. And I think that's about it when it comes to differences. Yeah. And later on, if there are questions, of course, I can go into more detail. So, this is for the sachets. Yeah. This is called the sachets. So what you do when producing sachets is that you're going to use the same product. The easiest thing is to come from pellets and shred the pellets. So you have your powder material and you're going to feed into the sachets. Doing it otherwise would be much more complicated. If you were to shred the raw materials and then impregnate it with permanganate, that would require an entirely different process. So it is best to come from the pellets, shred them, it's going to be easier to fit the powder in the packing machine. So the solution that we chose for the pellets is to develop a product, of course, that it's very air permeable. That is, that it is easy for the ethylene to go inside and be captured. But of course, one important thing that you need here is the water permeability. So we chose Tyvek as one of the only materials in the market that can give you both air permeability and water tightness. Not easy at all. And we do have this in both sides. In both sides. I know some other competitors, like here, for example, are using one phase Tyvek, the other one is just transparent polyethylene. That's a cheap solution, smart solution to reduce cost, but you are, with it, you're reducing efficiency by half. By half. And this is very important, because efficiency is how these products work. It's all about efficiency. And then it would be very easy to show if we could measure ethylene in a transport, for example. Unfortunately, we don't have the analyzers that can go down and measure ethylene in the low ppb's range, where the sensitive fruit has to be kept under. But if we did, we would see that our sachets are controlling ethylene much better because they have a double surface when compared to this competitor, for example. And many others. There's competition is big. It is big in Asia. I've seen the other sachets, and this is difficult to prove, but it can be explained. Now with pellets, with cylindrical pellets, you will have noticed that after use, or after some days of utilization, you can crush them, look at the inside, they're still purple. They're still purple. But they're not going to be so purple at the end of all the transport, at the end of all the use. But this tells you that actually the ethylene has to go inside and look for that permanganate. So this type of media is fast, very fast at the beginning. They're working with the outside surface of the pellet. And every time it takes more distance for the ethylene to diffuse within the solid and go look for that permanganate. So if we were to look at a graph of how these kind of products control ethylene, they're really fast at the beginning, and then they have some more difficulties to control ethylene. Of course, if we didn't use this product, ethylene would go like this. It would skyrocket constantly, on a constant basis. It depends very much on the fruit and where does the fruit spike in ethylene. But one good thing about the sachets is that you shred the material, and then you have more external surface. So the product within the sachet is a little faster than the pellets in the tube. So it is always a good idea to use sachets, especially when there's no ventilation in the wafers. Another important thing is the paper that you use, because in our case and in all cases, the paper, it is permeable, but it's not as fast as the media. And this is important because it's the paper or the packaging which is limiting the speed of reaction, the reaction rate. This is a chemistry reaction, but it has to do pretty much with transport of ethylene to the medium. So we know, because we measured, we can measure this in the lab, that the kind of Tyvek that you use is reducing our reaction rate by 50%. It's reducing it by half. So this tells us that our product is well inside, just waiting for this ethylene to come, and it's actually the packaging that's controlling ethylene. So you can go now, and it's eaten up by our media, but it's the packaging that's controlling that. If you have a package that's not so permeable, your reaction rate goes down. It goes down. So the reaction is lower. What does this mean? With the same amount of fruit, you can't be controlling ethylene at the same level. You're going to be controlling ethylene, but at a higher level. A level that can harm the fruit, especially the more sensitive fruit already. So this is very hard to explain why we chose this material, why we chose such an expensive packaging, but it is the one that is reducing our reaction rate the lowest. It is the fastest packaging that we could find, and it's keeping liquid water to go inside. So it's doing all the job. And this is something that we very carefully looked at. It's not exactly what the others did. Not all of them. Not all of them. So not all of them use Tyvek, or use some Tyvek with some polyethylene. And there are those who don't use Tyvek at all and use products that may be very permeable to air. That's good, but that cannot withstand moisture so well. And this is bad, of course, because you have some issues. Oh, and not all of those, not all of these can provide the food content certification, which is inherent to Tyvek, by the way. Yeah, I don't know if you want to go into prices.
Well, the price is the reference for us.
Okay, so if you want to take over the presentation.
The point, the food content certificate is very important. It's a question of the customer. In this case, everything is Tyvek or sachet, but this competitor is only one side is Tyvek, the other is polyethylene. I not have the certificate. Yes, the principal competitor for price, but no is full certificate. It's not true. It's only half true.
Yeah.
This point is very important. In this case, I don't know, I don't have a certificate. In this case, yes, I have the certificate. It's an argument for your customer. In case of the competitors, it's a very important this point. Okay. If complete the run, the Biocom, no, the machines. Tomorrow we speak specifically about machines, thermograph for temperature, filters, module the second. This comparison of this presentation is for argument, technical argument. As different Biocom the other companies. Is this, no, it's the price.
It's not only the price.
No, it's only the price. The price is important, I understand, but it's not only price. For the only price. Excuse me, one moment, please. Only price is this capacity. Yes, it's cheap, the product. Yes, but what is the difference? The capacity, or the certification, or the material, the quality of the material, or the technical team. This is the difference with the competitors. It's not the same 50 person in our company. In this company, 5 or 6 or 10 person in other. Yeah, the cost is very different. You see, you see sales Biocom, sales quality, trajectory, history, product, development. No, it's only price. Not only price. I other companies. Biocom, your or partners say for this. No, it's for price. Price is important, but it's not the focus in our business. Thank you. Okay, question for for Oscar.
For Maximo.
Not only, they actually also, they hold, exactly, I want
We can share one.
Yes, I'm questions.
The boys.
So
Easy, please. Easy question.
I know that there is some kind of Tyvek materials. It's not just only one. Is is it real that there is a different kind of Tyvek or different qualities? Some that are not that is not food grade material.
Yes, there's different Tyveks. We've always used and tested the high grade Tyveks. These are the thicker ones. There are some thinner Tyveks that we don't use, and I know some of them are not FDA approved. I know some of them are not, but the ones we've always used are FDA approved.
But because I think that some of the competitors are using Tyveks that are not food grade.
That's possible.
And why don't you show or get from the Tyvek manufacturer a certificate that explicitly says that Biocon uses a food grade material?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if some other competitor or the competitors that uses a food grade material present the same certificate, but at least for our case, it will be much better that if you can get that kind of certificate from the manufacturer. I think that's that then it will
To provide us
useful.
with the certificate of food grade from Tyvek, DuPont. That's a great idea.
Sorry, so you have those certificates?
Yes, I was going to say, if we can get that. If we don't have it, I'm sure we have this. We can.
It will be great
I
if
think
you.
there's someone from DuPont in here. Who do it. Okay.
It will be great if you.
Maybe you have
If we
something to
can
say.
have that on the website.
You could answer this question better than we could.
You're doing a good job.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Love support.
Yeah, I want to share the way we sell sachets. We have seen a tremendous increase of sachets demand in Mexico. When we talk to a client, we basically ask them if they're using something else. We basically ask them to give us the sachet they're using, and then while we are having the conversation, we throw them on water, and we also do the same thing with our sachets. In less than a minute, the other sachet, the competition sachet, start inking red. So you take it out and you can see the dots, the red dots on the sachet. You take out our sachets and they're completely dry, and you can even hear everything is dry because you can hear them shaking. That's one thing. Then if they bring the other sachet from Greenkeeper, we don't have all the information, we don't have all the technical data to validate what I'm saying, but we're using only logic. We said, okay, this sachet is 3 by 5 centimeters. That equals 50 square centimeters on one side and 50 centimeters on the other side. But you're taking 50 centimeters out because polyethylene doesn't breathe. So you only have a surface of 50 square centimeters versus beyond sachet. Is that making sense? Where 7 by 6 centimeters is 42 times 2 is 84. Then we have a higher capacity of absorption, and then you have a better product. That's what justifies whatever price we sell them. And this is how we're getting new clients all the time. And I wanted to share that. Maybe that will be a good idea for everybody to use that kind of technique, and because you convince the client right there, and then price is not an issue anymore. I mean, you're talking about quality, and this is what you want to point out. What makes us different? Because if at the end of the day, the competitor's price is 1 cent and you're 2 cents, I mean the cost of the product 2 cents, and he sells it 1 cent, that will make a difference. They will go and pay 1 cent for the product and not the 1.5 cents because you're more expensive, because you're not showing any value. But if you give any value, if you prove them or you explain them, there's a added value, like the technical support in Barcelona on the team here, the product itself, and the differences between the quality of the products. That makes a big difference, and this is how we are gaining share, market share in Mexico.
you.
Another question.
I just wanted to know, are you also evaluating, because what we've looked so far is that doing a comparison with permanganate only. But now you have competing products which are using different material for scrubbing of ethylene. Have you been able to evaluate those kind of packaging also? Number one. Number two is when we talked about, like they've been talking about food grade material on packaging. Since you've done a comparison about how their capacity to absorb compares to Biocon, you would have also looked at the packaging material, whether it's actually food grade or they're just writing for the namesake. They might be writing it's food grade, but it may not be food grade at all. I mean, you've done sample testing, so you might have seen the paper also. You would know whether it's food grade or not, number one.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you to repeat question 1 and 2, so you can be a little louder. It's not, I didn't get that. I'm sorry.
Okay, what I'm saying is, we've been presented with a comparative chart.
Yes.
Where you're talking about Biocon versus the rest of guys who are using sodium permanganate or potassium permanganate or alumina. Now, when we talk about food grade packaging, on the FDA approval packaging for sachet. Now, when you do it, you would have done testing of the samples also, yours versus the
yes, we have.
So you would have known whether that is actually food grade paper or not. Number one.
Yes.
So, I mean, because for a customer, end customer, it's very difficult to know. He just has to believe what's written on the piece of paper. If somebody else says it's food grade, he'll believe it. Yes, there will be a variation, like it was said, if you were talking about porosity to water, exposing it to water, obviously it will stain or not stain. That is one.
That's one way.
Yeah. Number two is we're talking about, you have now alternate technologies which are, I've seen it through logistic of Berlin where they're talking about using different compounds to remove ethylene. And how do we compete onto them? Because that's also coming into the same market where we are selling our products.
Yeah. Well, on the first question, yes, we have sachets, entire sachets from our competitors. One thing we historically did was we ripped it open and we analyzed the media for capacity. That's one thing we do. Another one is we check the paper, but it's really difficult to find out its composition. It's even difficult to know whether it's Tyvek or not.
You could have
Even DuPont would have trouble knowing if something is Tyvek or not. But
no, you could give it to Tyvek and they could verify it's the same quality of Tyvek or not. So they are experts, they can probably prove it all.
So,
I think I can answer that one if you want. Yes, we can tell if it's Tyvek or not, but we can't necessarily tell exactly which grade it is when it's been converted into the form of a sachet, because you have a very small surface area for a start, and it's difficult to measure the properties when it's contaminated with the permanganate that's already in there. So we couldn't tell you exactly which grade it is, but we can see whether it's Tyvek or something else that's not Tyvek. That's as far as we've done. We do have hundreds of different styles. Only a few of them are food contact approved because Tyvek's used in many, many applications where it's not necessary. So we only make it food contact approved when it's needed to be food contact approved.
all right, and on the other question, yes, we know there are some other products close to the concept of a sachet which are not using permanganate, but that can be used for the same purpose. What we do is we analyze them under the same method with which we test our sachets. And this is double. One is resistance to water impermeability. We do this in several ways. We soak the sachets in water. We spray them with water for several days. We stress them. We stress those sachets to see whether they fail or not and in what percentage they fail. Another thing we did is we measure capacity and efficiency of the entire sachet, not only of the active principle. We put the active sachet in a chamber and we inject a known concentration of ethylene. And we measure the time that it takes for the product to reduce this concentration. And every time we did this, we found that our sachets are the fastest. So you see ethylene concentration go down fast, and then approach zero in less than an hour. For some of the products, it just takes forever. And so it's not working. It's not working out. And then again, the producers are claiming that it has a good capacity, it's very permeable, and that's not what we find in the lab at all.
Okay, you should share those curves with us.
We can do that.
Those comparisons at the
Yes.
rate of the term.
Yeah. That could be fed to this table. Absolutely.
There was one more question here.
Okay, thank you. Can we think of this way? There's a comparison chart that you showed to us, the BioXtend and other medias. It says that 2.2, 2.7 in terms of taking out the ethylene. So we are at 4.5 and maybe more if we are talking about, or some others are talking about more. Why don't we reduce the capacity, I mean the 5 grams of the sachet, half of it maybe, and introducing a small sachet, because it's obvious that the other one who uses those type of products are satisfied with the results and still buying from them. So instead of, there is 2 different packets we have, one starter pack, you can buy this, it is cheap, it is simple. If you are not satisfied because there is a different kind of variety of fruits and vegetables which needs more care, maybe you can buy this 5 grams, so this way you can solve the price conflict. Is it possible?
I think it is.
Because it's superior, you say, not you say, the chart says that we have a good capacity of absorption.
Yes, I think we have the 5 gram, we have the 3 gram as well. Yes, and we've been talking about releasing a new sachet in 3 gram, which is made out of lower quality packaging, even lower quality packaging for shorter transits, for clients that do not demand this high quality packaging. And obviously in 3 gram for clients that do not need the entire absorption capacity, because they're already satisfied with what we're using, with what they're using, and it's clearly less performing in terms of capacity. So yes, we will release this new sachet.
Next year.
Next year?
We're in February.
February.
We're in February. You said next year.
2018, we're already in 2018.
Are there any more questions? I think all the questions have been asked. Is that right? I would like to therefore thank you. Put the hands together.